So I just thought I'd discuss this. As you know, this is now, believe it or not, my 10th overall video that I've ever made and will be soon uploaded. I think this is a new record for videos uploaded in one day. Uh, they are not all new videos. The first two that I uploaded were from last year. One is a regular season basketball shoot-around game at Sims Park. That was on February 26th. And the other one was with me and Eugene celebrating what was then my 36th straight last day of the month hangouts with a friend or more. That's on February 28th. No, not the 29th. The 28th. Yeah, so I just thought I'd get that out there. I wish I could say I uploaded all 10 videos of this year as far as my podcast is concerned, but for the most part, I will have uploaded what appears to be a record-breaking 10 videos in one day, and I'm pretty sure that can be surpassed. I mean, I'm pretty sure that I can do more than 10 in one day. Just depends on my time. I know right now my other goal is basically to just do what I've been doing, which is apply and apply and apply. Now I know I haven't done any today, but I'm doing everything I can in my power to really get the hell out of that dub as I approach the off season, which will be next week once I go through game 11 officially sometime next week, and that's going to be after work in my home park. All right. Well, speaking of podcasting, dude, so as you know, I start unofficially doing this as I found out, February 20th of last year. So I remember I did my video, which was addressing where I stand back then, where I stand with my life and where I stand with my friend circle. So that was the first one, and it was a long one. And originally I told myself that I was only going to do a few, because at that time, remember, I had ghosted practically, I said everyone, did I? It wasn't literally everyone. Well, I mean, not that it even matters now that anyone needs to know this, but I ghosted like a majority of my friend circle. It wasn't all of them. It was just a majority, okay? Now, it's not that I have anything against them, but what the hey, that was last year. It shouldn't matter now. Some of the people that may be watching this should have no reason to be upset anymore, because I have my circle back still, and I'm just talking to them like normal. So, but yeah, at that time I ghosted like a majority of my friend circle, and so I just thought that by doing that, I would be more active, on my job hunting, in which, to my credit, I have been. And I was posting less and less videos at the time. I think I only done like one per month or something like that. I think I was gonna do one just sometimes, like whenever I need to do it. But all my first few 4 videos then were like, what was it? They were about where I stand with my social life, where I stand with my life, where I stand with the nutballers, where I stand with my friend circle. You know what I'm saying? So it was a whole lot of that, especially going into March. But look how far I've come, and I'm starting to realize, hey, I like to let my voice be heard. And so now it's already the year 2026, and I've done a whole lot. It's becoming routine for me, and just I know it can be a hassle to just export and upload. A lot of the videos that I upload are on my dump computer, and so I think I've done more exporting to that computer than I have here at home with my Mac computer. Now, what's even more of a hassle when it comes to exporting here is, although sometimes it can get annoying that sometimes when I try to export some of the videos, for some reason, it wouldn't let me export them. I don't know why, but it annoys me. So I have to unplug the USB and plug it again to connect my phone to the computer. And then when I try to export those same videos, then it goes through. But I'm just saying it's just more of a hassle. And what's another thing too is like some of them. I mean the exporting is one, and then when I try to transfer them over to my flash drive or on the desktop, the names are going to come out as what is it, like the name file, the name the file names are going to have duplicates of, like, for example, if I upload 4 videos or transfer those 4 videos I exported onto my desktop, they're going to come out as like movie 1 360, which means the resolution 361, 362, 363, something like that. And it's I mean, my thing is like I think the Mac can only allow a certain limit of duplicates especially on a certain resolution. And when it comes to the naming, like, I mean, let's be honest, I think another reason, I think this is the biggest one, the biggest reason that that this is a hassle is because a lot of times when I do export that it's one thing to export them on the Photos app, which does take up some memory on the Mac, and it's another thing to transfer those same videos into the desktop, which it's another thing. And for the Windows, it's much easier because all I have to do is like when I use the Windows computer in my work, I would I would grab like on the all I have to do is just plug in the phone, and then I'll just go into that the folder, the respective folder of the year and the month, and all I have to do is just find the videos. All I have to do is just cut and paste directly into the desktop, and it'll come out as it'll have like some random letters and all that, but I think the process is just easier and it's more straightforward that way. And then I can rename to what the videos are, and I just think it's just easier that way. I just feel like I have more time to rename some of those videos on the work computer or the dump computer than I do at home. Because at home, because I am using a Mac, it's it takes a few like multiple steps. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I mean, I just think it's just much easier to do it on the Windows, the one in my dump computer, and it has a whole lot more storage than it does in my home computer, which sometimes with so much that I have, like, I have to clear up some storage, which is why I got to put some of those videos into the flash drive. The flash drive that already has a lot of my videos in there, and including the podcast ones. And just for the sake of time, which I wish I would have more time to do this very same process like I do in my dump computer, as far as like renaming some of the videos. But right now a lot of my videos are just more organized in my dump than at home. And I'm sorry if I'm taking way too long, as I'm discussing like the differences of me uploading and exporting videos onto my designated computers, both in my dump and at home. So, anyways, going back into my podcasting, I want to say career. I'm not trying to really make a career out of it, but you know, I've been told that it's good to just, you know, what some people do is, well, people like me, when they do some crafts, they like to show it off on social media, and for somebody like Amari, who sits next to me in my dump, she told me it's good. I should create a TikTok, and she said that I can make money off of, just uploading any of my crafts on there, and you can earn money out of just making crafts, and like, just making movies out of that stuff, and you know and you can easily monetize from there, for the sake of just making more money. If the pay rate just isn't enough, which in this case it's obviously not enough for everybody, including myself, being paid how we're paid, and some of us even need a side job. And that's why, like, for me, if I can't find a new job, I better find a side job. And you know it's one thing to do it in the social media, but it's another thing, just I think, to just be really careful on how to construct some of my content, and for the sake of just monetization and all that. I mean, it's cool and all, but the way I see it, I've always, like, especially of how I dealt with social media over the years, it's just for fun. I just like doing, uploading videos and photos, posts, just for the fun of it. I don't take anything seriously as far as, like, monetizing. I know some people like to do it, and it's all good, but I just don't know if I can be that person. You know what I'm saying? I grew up with a family that's pretty old generation, old school, like that. They just, at this point, they get to see how I do some of my stuff here, as far as like how I do my podcast, and the fact that I've improved my delivery on content, and just how I speak in general. I think by doing a whole lot of these, I know I used to do one, like, believe it or not, I think the second podcast I've done, I just wrote everything down on what I need to say. And it didn't really help too much. I mean, I was reading off the entire thing the whole time, and I almost sound kind of robotic, like just doing it. But since then I stopped, so I just decided to just do more and more, and eventually I started getting better at it, and as I go on to year 2026, as it is already the beginning of February, I'm starting to even develop more detailed templates, intro and outro, as I started in slowly in September. I mean, I didn't have the loading thing yet until was it in July or August? I think it was July, if I'm not mistaken, when I started. Yeah, and at that time I still had the No Bars logo, and then later on I decided to do templates of like groups of some of my ex-close friends, some of my idols, just a whole lot of that, and started doing more. And now it just makes, like, my templates look so much more fun, and just even doing these podcasts, like, now, just having fun, having more fun with them, because of the templates that I created. Some of them that are groups of my ex-close friends, and some of them that are with my current friends, and yes, using different types of music. Some of them I just create my own kind of instrumental music, and I even start to have just about a few songs to as standard, like, of course I create my own kind of instrumental music, for just kind of, because it's kind of using some instrumental songs, like well-known songs, and just like turning them in reverse, and they just become totally different songs. Like you hear here, it's you know, it's it sounds really cool, like just trying to do everything, original for the sake of, you know, how I do my podcast and all that, especially as a designer myself, a graphic designer myself. I just want to make these podcasts just more colorful and not so bland. I know I started out without templates before, then I started using the Nut Ballers one, and eventually started to just develop and develop and develop. For somebody like me that's an artist, you know, naturally you start developing more ideas. Artists like myself are very fond of ideas that, of course, there's really no stopping when it comes to being a better artist. You have one concept, you always want to better that concept, better that, execution, better your style, better your design for this certain kind of product. And the process is never ending when it comes to art, and especially on the marketing side of things, on the graphic design side of things. So with what I have now, it's just like definitely just evolving these the designs of what I do on these podcasts, like you're seeing right now. Before, a lot of my videos in the past didn't have these sound waves like you're seeing now, and I'm just adding more to them. Like for the bird season, I had the fall leaves. For Christmas, I had the snow and the snowflakes, Christmas lights. For October, obviously the bats, anything Halloween related, even with some of the Halloween music that I, made a little different. Like when you're talking about the instrumental stuff, the instrumental music, I just reversed them to make it sound like totally different songs, like you would never hear on the radio or what have you. But yeah, I mean, I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to be original with what I do here as far as like the podcast, and just being inspired by some of the guys that I listen to, like some of the sports content creators, independent content creators, and how they stylize their videos, and how they do their videos in general. So for me, I mean, that's how I'm doing these. And obviously my original idea of doing this podcast, I remember I told some of the guys like Russ and the Boss that I would do this, with them. And I didn't start doing it with them until in the third month I was already doing this. So I started doing one with a Boss in Eugene, and then eventually I started to do a little bit more. And it's not that I'm doing it every single time, but I'm doing it sometimes with some of these guys. And even when it comes to some of our hangouts, I'm just like, I like using these templates. They're also fitting. So if I use an intro template that's loading, and I can also use that for hangouts. So I get them done on time. Like last Saturday when we celebrated Russ's birthday early at Buffalo Wild Wings, I had a few videos of that. Then I started doing that like the next day with my given templates, the current templates that I have. These templates I'm using aren't specified by the month. Unlike what I did like in the past when I had the half banners, and each template had a month, and so I mean it can be a hassle. But I mean, as I'm continue doing these podcasts, the ones I have are not specifically for any month. And right now with the templates that I use, they can be for any month, including this month and March and April and what have you. So I think I already have set a norm, like a standard template for use of my podcasts, like going forward, especially whether I do for hangouts, like mini movies of our hangouts, or just outdoor adventures, or just podcasts like what I'm doing here. So just continue to being inspired and trying to be a hybrid of all the guys that I get inspired by. Like, for example, Dreamers Pros, Two Raw for TV. I know Dreamers Pro likes to use the on-air, display. I have an on-air box. Sometimes I do videos like he does, but my background choice is pretty picky on certain videos that I do, right? And guys like Two Run Ticket, they do their audio a whole lot, audio podcast a whole lot, right? I've seen Ticket do some of his, like, where he shows himself in some of the videos. So just trying to be inspired by different people. When originally I got inspired by guys like, The Odd Couple with Rob and Chris at the time. And also, First Things First. They have a podcast of their own. They have an audio version. So now I'm like, as I continue going, you're seeing these sound waves, and that's originally what I was inspired by, those shows that I mentioned, The Odd Couple and First Things First. And I'm doing it also with the Nutballers, those episodes with some of the other guys. So yeah, I feel like I've come a long ways, and I'm just continuing to do what I do. And lately I've been uploading a whole lot. Like, I guess I've been averaging about more than 5 videos a day, just as far as uploads go. And today, like I said, this is already going to be now my record-breaking 10th video upload, for the day, for one day. And look, I know the criticism that I got about these quote-unquote mindless videos, but hey, despite that criticism, it's only fueling me to do a whole lot more of these videos. So, it's like Kevin Durant, KD gets fueled by hate, the heckling of fans, and, just for him to become a better shooter. And look at guys like Kobe, MJ, fueled by hate. They become better at what they do. Hell, I'm going to get better at what I do. And of course, I know my ultimate goal, and I got to focus on that. But look at me now. Look at where I'm at with my podcasting now. Somebody better call me a semi-pro, because even Nathan said I got skills, baby, when it comes to speaking. Yeah, man, I don't care if some people hate. I love what I do, and this is something I do routinely. And I asked some of the guys in the group chat, and I haven't heard from them, but they know I'm doing well. They follow me. It's all good. I know most of these guys do. So, no problem, man. You know what I'm saying? So, I want to continue to keep doing what I'm doing, especially with this. I don't care if they're quote-unquote mindless / pointless, or whatever the hell some of these people want to say about some of my videos, just because I like to do a whole lot of trash and exposing, what have you. That's part of the fun that I do here, man, especially if it's about my dump. Look, I know I went off a whole lot yesterday. Today I'm feeling all good and well, but the consistency factor is what I need to work with. But for the most part, I think I'm come a long ways, and just becoming now, I feel myself to be a semi-pro podcaster. Hell, I should be qualified to join some of the guys, like, the guys from the 500 Club, Gills Arena, JJ, Steve Nash, LeBron, Paul George, Draymond, guys like them, Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. They do their podcast, so why can't I join them? I can talk anything, right? Even when it comes to sports. So anyways, by the way, most of those podcasters get criticized too, because they can say damn near anything. Look at Max Kellerman and Rich Paul. A lot of people can just say anything, so I can say anything. I'm just going to leave out certain subjects that are really sensitive. But for the most part, I'm going to continue to do what I do. So this is just more of like a reflection of where I'm at with my podcasting, and I'm really proud to see where I stand. And nobody gonna stop me. Nobody gonna break my spirit, man. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I know this is a very long video, but this is just for me to reflect where I'm at with my podcasting in general. And so I just got into to have fun and just have fun with what I post. And you know, I'll get some love, so I'll get some hate. Fine with me. I'm still gonna try to do different topics each day that's been my challenge since last year. And I have been trying, not so much about issues of, same like same old friendship issues and what have you. Just trying to do some different things. So I was still experimenting on that, but for the most part, yeah, I think it's going to help me to do better on what I do. All right. Well, peace out, everyone. And I'll talk to you guys later. It's kind of cold out right now. So peace. Thank you for watching, everyone. Like, share, and subscribe.